got so much new makeup to show you today, and we're going to be putting it all on my face in what will hopefully be a very relaxing, very chatty, very helpful, very fun and entertaining. Get ready with me. I'm going to be creating this beautiful summer look using all of these products. I just picked up the rest of the Chanel Les Beiges collection. I have the new Danessa Myricks palette. I have the new Charlotte Tilbury lip contour duo. I have an insanely good new bronzer to show you and some very bougie, very expensive complexion products that I've been putting to the test. So if you want to hang out with me today and hear all of my completely honest thoughts, then keep watching. Okay, let's get started. I'm gonna kick things off with a not new, but new to me foundation that I often get a lot of questions about from my subscribers. This is from one of my favorite luxury beauty brands, Clayo, and this is called The Foundation. It doesn't have a fancy name, it's just called The Foundation, the one and only. And I picked up a sample of this a couple of weeks ago when I was at the Clayo counter running an event, and unfortunately, guys, it was so good that I splurged and got the full bottle. I think I picked this up from Bloomingdale's. This is a very expensive foundation. It is nearly $300, and I think that's part of the reason why I get so many questions about it, because we're all wondering, right? Is it that good? Is it worth the $300? Well, I've been testing it for a little bit now, and I'm definitely gonna share some of my first impressions. First off, I do wanna show you how absolutely stunning the packaging is. It is weighty. It looks like a gemstone, guys. It is gorgeous. Like, this is luxury. I don't think you're gonna be disappointed about the packaging at all. I think because this comes in a jar, a lot of people think it's going to be very thick and very full coverage, but in fact, this is actually the lightest coverage out of all the Clayo foundations. My holy grail, the Clayo Radiant Cream Foundation, this is actually the fullest coverage one that they offer. This is very buildable. You can definitely get a very perfecting full coverage if you have a lot of hyperpigmentation. I also think that this one is just a little bit glowier, and it probably is because it does have more pigment. Then their best seller is the Radiant Fluid Foundation. This is going to be sort of in between the two. This one, I don't know, it's the best selling, but this one is probably my least favorite. Like, it's still wonderful, don't get me wrong, I still highly recommend, but this one I use the least. And then this one, the foundation, is going to be the lightest coverage. And I'm like super red and flush today, of course, and I'm using the lightest coverage one, but I think it'll help you understand how much coverage this will actually give. I think the reason that this costs so much money is because it does seem to be packed with more expensive skincare ingredients compared to the other ones. I mean, everything from Clayo is very skincare oriented, and it's also very like dry skin and mature skin friendly, pretty much all of their products, right? This seems to have just like next level ingredients, and so that's why I think it is $300. So you can see it has a very like fresh, very kind of moisturizing finish to it. I definitely think that this is going to be better for those of you out there who have dry skin or mature skin. If you feel like your skin's a little bit dehydrated, this strikes me as something really nice for every day. If you're somebody that really just likes something light, something fresh, not too heavy, you don't want it settling into fine lines, you don't want it getting cakey, I think you're gonna like this. It does have a fragrance, okay, just like a lot of the luxury beauty foundations, but it's not super overpowering. It's not the worst that I've smelled. It kind of just dissipates very quickly. So it doesn't bother me, but it does have a fragrance. I just like to mention that in case you are very sensitive. And what I really like about this compared to some other very skincare foundations that I've tried from other brands is that while it is lightweight, it's not super serumy and streaky and slimy. I didn't have any issues just quickly applying that to my face. And as you can see, I'm like pretty much, why am I so flushed today? I don't know, guys. It's a little warm in my room today, so please excuse me. Maybe I'm just really excited to film. But you can see, like, it covered up a decent amount, but it's still very lightweight. It still is blurring. It's luminous, but I wouldn't say it's quite as radiant as the Radiant Cream Foundation. For more of like a light, fresh, everyday type of look, I think that the foundation is probably the way to go. Now, this kind of reminds me of a Chanel Sublimage foundation, but I actually like this better. I'm gonna put some on the other side of my face now that you've seen that before and after. I actually have been liking this better, however, because I feel like it's not too much. I feel like the Chanel Sublimage, while they are good and while I really like those in the winter when I need a lot of hydration, this just feels more lightweight to me. Sometimes the Chanel Sublimage, it's like I have to be really careful when I'm applying it not to put too much, and it does tend to be a little bit streaky, so the application is not, you know, as effortless. These are very minute differences, by the way, but hopefully it's helpful because these products are very expensive, guys. These are all good foundations, but I'm trying to do my best to give you some references just in case you're interested in this product. At the end of the day, is it worth $300? I mean, everything about this so far I've really liked. The packaging is luxurious, the formula is luxurious, it's very moisturizing. I can't think of anything bad about this foundation. I think it is extremely good, but I think you pay the $300 if A, it's exactly what you're looking for and it really suits your skin type, and B, for the skincare ingredients. If you really like Clayo skincare, I do. I use a ton of their products in my everyday routine. If you really like their skincare and you're looking for something that helps with skin elasticity, firmness, moisture, all of those things, then I think it is worth the $300. But if you're not really looking for that, then I think $300 is a little bit steep, and you could definitely go for the Radiant Cream Foundation, which I believe is $135. Still really expensive, but like half the price, right? So here's what it looks like fully applied. You could see it gives a nice moisturized effect to the face. I barely used any product and I still got, I think, pretty decent coverage for every day. Now, if I have some spots like I do up here, then I will go in with the Clayo Stick Concealer. So I just do like a little bit here, and that way I'm not putting on like a ton of foundation, especially for like the summer months when it gets hot. I just go in with this as like a little bit of a supplement here and there, keeping the rest of the complexion very nice and lightweight. And then I will actually pop this into my purse. I always have this in my purse pretty much at all times, as long as the purse is big enough to fit it, because I love to use that stick concealer for touch-ups. Oh, and by the way, if you happen to be enjoying this video, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. It really helps me out. And if you are new here, maybe consider subscribing to my channel. My name is Sophia and I upload new videos just like this every single week, all about everyday beauty and accessible luxury style. We like to keep it honest and real on this channel. I love luxury beauty, but I don't want you to waste your money on things that are not totally worth it. I film all of my beauty videos in natural light with no filters, so if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button to join our fam. We seriously would love to have you. And as a reminder, friends, all these products and the shades that I'm using, they're gonna be in that description box down below or on the shopping button on the screen. So next I wanna add a little bit of concealer to my under eyes, and for that, I have been testing the Sisley Concealer. This is the eye concealer with botanical extracts. Sisley is another one of those brands that is just stupid expensive and I get a lot of questions about, but I actually haven't really tested. I don't think I've tested any of their products before, so I headed over to my local Nordstrom and I did pick up a couple of things that I'm rigorously testing, friends, and this concealer is one of them. I'm not a huge fan, I must say, just from the start, I'm not a huge fan of the packaging. It's just like a plastic squeezy tube. Like, it's fine, it's fine. It does have one of those really nice like metal applicators, but I don't know, I'm not really like rubbing in my concealer like this. I put it on and then I'm gonna use my fingers or a brush to blend it out, so I don't really know how much the packaging is really helping, but I must say it does feel good. It feels very cooling and soothing to the eyes. I'll take it, okay? It's a little luxurious ritual when I do my makeup in the morning. Now, just like the Clayo foundation, this is a very moisturizing formula. It is pretty creamy, but not super serumy. It pairs really nicely with the rest of the base that I have going on today. Take a look at that. It's very brightening as well. With this, I do want to try it out a little bit more, but just as a first impression, I'm really, really liking the formula. It does feel like it is moisturizing my dry eyelids and under eyes a lot, but I don't think I would use this around the face because it is so moisturizing. I would prefer to use the stick concealer from Clayo that I just showed you. To me, this is very much like an under eye only kind of situation. I don't think that it would like stick to a blemish as well, if you know what I'm saying. By the way, I am planning on doing a super expensive bougie makeup video roundup review for you all. I am just testing a lot of these things back to back in different climates, with different powders, with different bases paired together. So definitely look out for that video. I have a bunch of things from Clayo, Sisley, I have La Prairie. I bought a bunch of expensive stuff and I am rigorously testing all of it. So definitely stay tuned. And if there are any super expensive bougie makeup products that you want me to include in that video, definitely comment down below. I'm gonna be looking out for all of your suggestions, and hopefully I can incorporate as many requests as my budget will allow. Okay, so here's the concealer. We're getting up close and personal. Do you see that? See how hydrated that looks? I think it looks so, so good. My wallet is in trouble, guys. Oh my gosh. And not only because of this concealer, but because of the powder. I also bought the Sisley powder at Nordstrom, or this is called the Blur Expert, but I just call it the pressed powder. This is like a baked gel formula. Do you see how gross it looks? This used to look like a beautiful orchid. It looks gross because I can't stop using this. This is a very bold statement that I'm about to make, but at least so far, this is the best powder that I've ever used, at least for my dry skin. Like if you have very oily skin, you might need something that is a little bit more mattifying and heavy. But for me, guys, as someone that doesn't really like powder, that doesn't like to bake, I don't really like loose powder, this is my jam. It only comes in 2 shades. Why, Sisley? I actually think I'm gonna go buy the other shade. I have shade 1 beige. This one is a little bit more like neutral warm. The other one has a pinkier undertone, and I'm kind of thinking I want to try that one a little bit more under the eyes. It might be more brightening. So I think I'm gonna get that, and then I will follow up and we'll do some comparisons and everything. But for today's video, I just want to tell you guys, I flippin' love this powder. No regrets spending the money on this. I am going to just lightly powder my face. I don't feel like I have to, but if I want this to last a little longer, it is good to powder it. And I just got back from a week-long trip. I was in Miami and then I was in New York, and it was like raining every day. And I really did need a little bit of powder to get me through the day. So I'm just using this little Danessa Myricks powder puff, and then I just go in like this. And it is very, very lightweight and smoothing. When I first saw this, I was thinking, oh, is it gonna be just like the Dior powder no powder, or like the Chantecaille blurring powder? A lot of people like those, but I still never quite got along with those. I don't know, I still had like issues with cakiness and stuff. With this, oh my gosh, it's the same style of powder, but I don't have any issues with cakiness. It is so incredibly lightweight. It's blurring. It sets nicely, but not heavily. I love it so much. I actually have a powder that I like. It is a miracle. Even underneath the eyes, this looks good. And it really did help with the longevity of my makeup. I'll show you a clip right here actually of a full day wear test that I did with this. And when I say full day, I mean like a full day. Walking through the rain, going to like a makeup event, being out, you know, for the entire day, not just like sitting at home, like filming a video and, you know, doing whatever. I actually was outside the house and the weather was not good. And take a look at how good my makeup looked at the end. Whew, I love this powder. I'm not trying to like hype it up and pressure anybody to get it, but if you're like me and you seriously have been struggling to find something that actually works, then you might want to check this out. Check it out and let me know if you like it. All right, I moved back a little bit because the light was coming in and blinding me. Do we see how blurred and perfected this looks? So good. I'm set for the rest of the day. Next up, I want to use a new bronzer that I literally just got in PR today. So this is gonna be the first time I'm using it. This is one of the new bronzers from Queen Musia. Not really sure how to pronounce it, but I really like this brand. They make some beautiful lip products. They have a really good mascara, and they just launched their bronzers and some blushes. So we're gonna try this out. There are 3 shades in the bronzer, and this is the lightest one. Let's do a little bit, ooh. It feels very silky and a little bit buttery. Let's do a quick swatch. Do you want to focus, camera? Let's do a quick swatch of the lightest shade. That looks really nice. That looks really beautiful. I do have 2 comparisons here that I'll show you after we get this on my face, but that looks nice. It looks like a really nice tone that isn't too warm. I do believe I have a coupon code to this brand, so I'll pop that down below in case you want to check this out. I haven't been disappointed by one of their products yet, so I figured I would try this on camera. Oh, it's definitely pigmented. shade. I like the tone. I like it. I think this is a solid bronzer. It really does feel, like I said, like a little bit creamy. It feels kind of like the Gucci bronzer. How much does this cost? $35. That's not too bad. So this is the before, and then this is the after. It blends like butter. I would definitely say that this reminds me of the Gucci bronzer. So let's do a quick little comparison. Here is the lightest shade of the Queen Musia bronzer. Then I have here the Gucci bronzer in the shade Fair. Curious, I thought that this was gonna be a little bit pinker. Oh wow, it's actually, pretty similar. It's pretty similar. It's maybe a little bit pinker. Is this a good dupe for the Gucci bronzer? I think it might be. I think it might be. And then I have the Dior Forever Nude bronzer. And this is one of the newer ones, by the way, that were just reformulated. And this is in the shade Light. And I picked this one up because I figured this was gonna be a nice subtle fair skin bronzer that is a little bit warmer. Oh my God, that was such a bad swatch. Hold on a sec. Let's try that again. Here is, yeah. So see how much warmer that is? I still like this shade. I just use a light hand and I think that it works well for my skin, which is a little bit more golden, but for those of you who maybe have a cooler undertone or you're afraid of a bronzer looking too orange on your complexion, this is actually a really good, rather affordable bronzer that I would say feels like a luxury formula. So good job. Good job, Queen Musia. And also thank you for sending me this in PR, much appreciated. I just quickly did my brows with the EADEM brow pencil. This is in the shade Brunette. I don't think that these are new, but it is new to me. I was just at the makeup show in New York City this past weekend and I got to meet the entire EADEM team and the founders and everything, and it was such a delight. And I picked up a couple of things at the counter there, and one of them was this brow pencil. This is a really good brow pencil. I know it's kind of like a boring product, but I find it kind of difficult to find a brunette brow pencil that is not warm toned, and this one is just perfectly cool toned for my brows, and it is a really good formula. So just wanted to shout it out there for a second. I know, again, brow pencils, very boring product, but this is good. I'm excited. I'm excited about this very boring brow pencil. Anyway, guys, let's get to the Chanel Les Beiges blushes. Now, when the collection finally launched online, I did go to Nordstrom and buy the rest of the products just to give you guys my thoughts on what I think is worth it. If you missed my initial review of the Les Beiges collection, I will link that down below. That's where I review the eyeshadow palette and the blush and highlighter duos. But in this video, I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts on the cream blush sticks. Now we have two shades here. We have Reset, which is a kind of orangey coral, and then we have Refresh, which is a vibrant pink. I don't normally like to do this, but I feel like a lot of you out there, you're trying to maybe decide which color to get. So I'm gonna be putting one on this cheek and one on the other so you can see the differences, and then I'll just even it out. Like, it'll be fine, guys. It'll be fine. We will even it out in the end. Okay, so first up we have Reset, which is the vibrant coral, and there are little tiny flecks of gold shimmer in there also. I don't really think that they show up on the cheeks, but it does give a little bit of luminosity to the formula. I'm just using my BK Beauty brush here to apply it. I'll try and link all the brushes that I use in this video down below as long as they are still available. And it is a very buildable formula. As you can see, you know, I have pretty fair skin. It's not too crazy. Like it's really not too crazy of a color. I prefer to go in like this rather than swiping it on because I don't want to disturb all of that work that I just did. It's a beautiful blush. It's a beautiful formula. Can't say that this is a must-have. Like, these don't knock my socks off. They don't blow me away. If I had to choose, I would prefer my Westman Atelier Baby Cheeks blushes. I think those have more of like a creamy, hydrating look to them. I've noticed that these, they have a slightly more mattified look. I personally don't feel like this is an absolute must-have though. Like, there's nothing unique about this. It's just a cream blush stick, so definitely look into your collection. And if you already have this shade, I really don't think that you need to get this one from the Les Beiges collection. And then on this cheek for comparison, we're gonna go in with Refresh, which is the vibrant pink. And this one also has some very, very finely milled light gold sparkle. This one pops on my face a little bit more. You can definitely tell the difference. They're both beautiful shades. I'm glad that Chanel decided to add a little bit more color to this collection, but it's a pink blush. It is a pink blush. It's nothing particularly groundbreaking. Very nice shade, nice formula. It's Chanel. I think it's fragrance. Yes, there's a light fragrance. It smells like the Les Beiges foundation, if you happen to have that. Okay, so here is the pink, and here is the coral. Comment down below. Oh, I have a little cat hair on my cheek. 1 second. Let's try that again. This is the pink, and then this is the coral. Comment down below, let me know which one you like better for me. Did you pick up one of these? What do you think of the formula? I think, once again, like, it's super smooth. It's nice, but it doesn't really blow me away. I don't think it's a must-have unless you really are drawn to one of these colors, or maybe this is like really unique and you don't have something like this from Chanel. But yeah, that's the difference between those. Now I'm gonna even it out and we're gonna move on. I'm gonna add a little bit of the highlighter from the Eclat du Soir palette. I've been using the other one a lot more. That was the Soleil Couchant. That was the one that a lot of you guys said you thought looked the best on me. But if I'm just going in for a simple highlight, I usually go into this lighter shade. So I'm gonna dust a little bit of that on top, and it does pop quite a bit, see, up against the cream blush. So I mentioned earlier that this past weekend I was at the makeup show in New York City, which is basically, it's kind of like a trade show slash conference for makeup professionals. There's a lot of makeup artists that go, and I had the very pleasure of attending a Danessa Myricks masterclass. Watching this woman do makeup, guys, is so mesmerizing. I'm just in awe of her techniques and the way she approaches makeup. I try and recreate it myself and it doesn't always work out, but it's such a pleasure to watch and learn from her. So while I was there, they had obviously like a bunch of, or all of her products that you could purchase. And I decided to pick up her newest eyeshadow palette. This is called the Freedom palette. This has 6 shades, and I think this one is called Pastels, if I'm not, oh yeah, Pastel Dream. Sorry, this one is called the Freedom palette Pastel Dream. So you have a mixture of some neutrals, but then you also have some fun pops of color in these kinds of like pastel tones. You have 3 very smooth blendable mattes, and then you also have 3 shimmer shades that you can pair alongside them. I think that this is a really cute palette if you kind of want like that taste of Danessa Myricks, but you do more like everyday makeup, because a lot of her stuff, it's like duochromes and shifty and just, it's so cool, guys. But you know, if you're creating just like a look in the morning to go somewhere or on the weekend or whatever, sometimes that's not always like the type of makeup that I want to use. So I wanted to show this to you just to show you something that is really beautiful, but maybe like a little bit more approachable. I'll show you the swatches here. Like I said, the mattes, they are super duper smooth and blendable and also pigmented, but not so much that you have to be super duper careful. The shimmers, oh my goodness, they are incredibly creamy and they have a shift. Again, like it's not the craziest thing in the world. I feel like these colors are easier to work with than, let's say, a green and red shift or like a blue and orange shift. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. I know there's probably some of you that want me to go into these bright pastel colors, but I am keeping this look rather neutral today. So I am going to use the soft matte brown as the base of this look because it's just a little bit more summery to me. I mostly just want to show you the formula because you either like these shades or you don't, and I've definitely done some really good all-day wear tests with this palette so far. Do you see how beautiful and easy it was to blend out that matte brown? Just gonna put a little bit of that on the lower lash line as well, in the outer corner. The afternoon light just came in, the cloud just moved, and I think this is the perfect opportunity to show you the shimmer and glimmer of these other shades here. So what do I wanna do? Let's do the beautiful lilac shade. Oh my goodness, this is the kind of formula where you wanna tap off your brush, but take a look. Ooh. Do you see that bright, beautiful shift? When you're applying this, you wanna be careful of fallout, but you know what? I was thinking about this yesterday as I was pulling this palette out to prepare for this video. I don't remember getting any fallout with this when I did my 2 full day wear tests. I don't remember there being a ton of glitter particles all over my face at the end of the day. And again, like I was out all day at events and stuff for work. I think because it has like a nice creamy base, it really does stick to the eyelid and it lasts. It's a really high quality formula. I'm also going to do the gold shade. I'm gonna pop that in the inner corner right here. For my lashes, I'm gonna be going in with one of my favorites, the EADEM mascara, except they have released, or they're going to be releasing very soon, depending on when you're watching this video. They are releasing this month a brown shade. This one is called Jasper. And when I saw this at the makeup show, I just knew I had to have it. I was so excited because I love this mascara. It is so volumizing. It is very long lasting as well. I took this with me on my trip and I wore it in the rain and the humidity. It's not hard to take off at all. It's a very good mascara if you want some buildable drama. They also are going to be releasing this in like an electric blue shade, which I thought was fun. The brown one is perfect if you want a little bit more of like a subtle look, which I think is great for summer. I tend to wear this mascara a lot when I don't want to wear fake lashes, but I want a lot of volume. I'm doing a very simple look today, but if I were to be doing more of like a smoky eye or a glam look, and again, like I kind of want to balance it out with some bigger, bolder lashes, this is usually the mascara that I will go for. Okay, so here is the look so far with the mascara on. I'm loving it. It's very neutral, but I just like love the glow and the radiance of all these products. Next, we are gonna do the lips, and I have all 4 of the Rouge Coco Flash lippies from the Chanel Les Beiges collection. I'm gonna swatch each of them on my lips. We're gonna go from lightest to darkest, and then I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts on these new Charlotte Tilbury lip liner duos. What is she calling these? The Lip Cheat Contour Duos. I definitely have some thoughts on these, but I don't wanna put this on and then put the Chanel ones on top because then you're not really gonna see the true color. So we'll mix them together at the end, but I want to first review the Chanel lippies. So the lightest shade of the 4 is called Sun Bliss, and this is very, very subtle. It's basically kind of like almost a clear with some micro glitters in it. You're gonna notice it really does not add much pigment to my lips at all. It's more like a shimmery lip balm, see? Like, it's pretty, but I could have done without this. It gives some nice dimension to the lips, but I think this would be better as a topper on top of the lip sculpt. So we're gonna do that at the end, but I just wanted to show you this shade on its own because it doesn't really add much to the lips. I think it's probably the one that's more of a skip. Next we have Sunset, and this is going to be a nudie coral. This is probably the one that is gonna be the most universal out of the 4. If you want something very natural and everyday, it's a gorgeous shade. It's really pretty. This is the kind of thing I could just toss in my purse, and I do think it would go with most of my summer looks. This one right here is Sunset. Now the next 2 are gonna be deeper and more pigmented and more vibrant. This one is called Sun Kiss as opposed to Sun Bliss, right? Sun Bliss was the lightest one. I keep getting them mixed up. This one is Sun Kiss, and it's going to be much more vibrant and pink. Let me add a little more. Like, this is a juicy pop of color. This is gonna go really good with the pink blush if you wanted to do kind of a more monochromatic look. And I would pair this with an eye like this, something very simple and neutral so you could just let the lips pop. So this is Sun Kiss. And then my favorite one, unsurprisingly, if you know my makeup taste, is this one. This one is called Late Sun, and this is a gorgeous warm bronze. There we go. It is not quite a red, it's not quite a brown, it's not quite an orange. It is a mixture of all three. It is a stunning shade. I think all of these are really beautiful and wearable. To me, I like this one the most because I feel like it is maybe the most unique. I also like the one that I just showed you, Sun Kiss, because it's just more of like a vibrant pink. I don't always see this from Chanel, but again, if you're looking for something a little bit more basic, then I would go with Sunset. Now let's talk about these new Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat Duos. Now, I had the opportunity to swatch all of them because I had a meetup at the Aventura Mall. Thank you so much to everybody who came out to that meetup. We had a fabulous time. At the Aventura Mall in Florida, they have a Charlotte Tilbury beauty boutique with all of the makeup. They had all of the shades. So I was able to take a look at these. I was really excited for this release. I was ready to buy almost every single shade, whatever flattered my skin tone, but I did decide to get just one in the end, and I will explain why. These are not the same formula as her regular lip cheat lip liners. They're not just that formula made into a duo so you can contour your lips. This is a different formula, and it's the kind of formula that isn't my favorite. I prefer a longer lasting lip liner formula. I like something where you put it on, it's very creamy, easy to apply, easy to blend, but once it sets, it sets. And that's what you get from the Charlotte Tilbury, like the OG lip liners. That's not so much what you get from these. This is gonna be one of those kind of drier formulas that is more blendable. It's more about smudging, blending, contouring. I put on my hand right here, I have Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk. This has been on my hand for like a couple minutes right now. I just did a swatch, one of the original liners. And then this is the medium shade that I'm gonna put on my lips for you in just a second. You'll see that the original liners, they don't really smudge. Like once they set, all right? This one, however, take a look. See how blendable that is? That's the difference. That's the difference. They're not super long lasting, but if you like that kind of blendy, contoury type of formula, then you might like them. It's not my preference, so I only bought one basically to show you guys. So here we go. Here's what we've got. We basically have a deeper shade that they recommend going around the perimeter of the lips. And once again, this is the shade medium. So that is the deeper color. Notice how it's a little bit cooler in tone, especially compared to my very rosy tone lips, and it provides kind of like a contour. And then it says that you're supposed to fill in the lips with the lighter shade. So that's kind of what I do. I just sort of like go in and like smudge it. Like it's fine, but I don't know. I feel like I could just use the regular Charlotte Tilbury liners for this. It's not my favorite formula. Okay, so we've got that on. Now I'm gonna go in with Sun Bliss. This was that lightest shade, and I'm gonna put this on top. Just kind of melt it all together, and we're gonna see how this looks. So here is the final lip look. Comment down below, let me know, do you prefer this type of lip liner formula, or do you like something that is more long lasting? Because I don't find that these are like more hydrating or anything like that. To me, it's just the difference between it stays blendable as opposed to more long wearing. So I would love to know, what do you prefer? Comment down below because I'm actually really curious to find out. And this is the final look. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. I am so obsessed with the complexion. It looks very smooth and radiant and summery without being dewy and greasy and all that kind of stuff. This makeup will definitely last. It's kind of like an elevated neutral summer makeup look. If you like this video, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up and subscribe, or better yet, go watch another video. Up next, we have the 5 best and 5 worst products from YSL Beauty. I'll see you there.